All right, everybody, welcome back to Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter, and back in the house tonight, down in the bottom right corner for all you guys who are watching on YouTube, Hank, the Bass Geek. What is going on, my brother? Well, my brother, welcome back. Welcome back. Hank was sick for a little while, everybody, and we're glad to have him back. And hopefully, you're well, man.
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. Just been blessed with horrible genes from my grandmother that gave me, you know, the
Uh,
lungs of I don't know what lungs of a pit ant, I guess. So they can't hardly breathe during certain times of the year.
Oh,
Hence, as you can see, my albuterol inhaler back here behind me. So, but no, man, things are good. Things are good. Actually, actually got to go out and do a little fishing.
nice.
What is
that's good.
today? That's a bad thing about working swing shifts. I never know what the day is anymore. You wake up, it's one day, and you go to sleep, it's the next, or vice versa. See, I can't even tell you how it works. But no, man, got to go do a little bit of fishing. Getting ready to go do a little fishing this weekend.
Sweet.
I'm excited about that. Getting ready to go fish a little lake called Watauga, and haven't fished it in a little while. But that's for around here. That's a big fish lake, and I'm sure they're going to be exactly where I like them, and that's as deep as they can get on that lake.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Also in the house tonight, Trever Wagner. You guys know before the first cast, he is the host of that. Trevor, I've got a guy at work that critiques all our podcasts, and I want to tell you this up front. He gave you a 10 stars. So
Nice.
he said your show is,
I'm trying.
he said you're doing a great job with before the first cast, guys. And if you're not listening, it drops on Basscast Radio. All three shows are on the same network. So all you got to do is subscribe to one channel. You get a show on Monday, you get the main show Wednesday, and you get Trevor on Friday mornings. All of them drop at 5 o'clock in the morning. Wednesday, guys, is an audio only episode. And I ain't gonna lie, it's AI. We take our stories from the week and our writers and our creators, and we turn them into for those who don't like to read, we turn it into an audio. So Wednesday's audio only, but Friday and Monday mornings there is a video version that is dropped. Also, $6. I think $5.95 a month. You can become a Patreon member for the Basscast.com, Basscast Radio, and you get your show, just the audio version, on Sunday mornings, commercial free. That's right, no commercials whatsoever, and you get it before everyone else. I'm doing my best to get it up as Sunday morning before lunchtime, but we try to knock it out as early as possible, early, so you guys can listen to it and be the first ones to listen. And thank you all who are a Patreon member. Trevor became a Patreon member. Thank you for being that, and appreciate you there. But thank you to everyone. We actually had another guy sign up, but he's not a paid member yet. But like I said, all money helps. I just paid the bill for this thing for this year, so I ain't gonna lie. It's a first of the year. You got to pay all the. It's like there's no money the first year because you got to renew all these licenses, all this stuff that we use to make the shows. After that, we kind of the rest of the year just kind of trickles on. It's great, and we go the classic. So me and Geek will be there, and I think we're a month away, and we're Geek.
Yeah, what is
Almost a month away.
yeah, almost a month away. It's what I think I'll be down there Saturday and Sunday, so I
Okay.
want to come down and be there early, and just kind of crash the one night, go watch the final weigh in, the big trophy, and who knows, I may
Nice.
write Bass Geek on my chest and run out there like that.
like it did the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
that's right.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
So the
make sure
classic.
you Meta
Yeah.
AI glasses the whole time you're running, so you like record
That'd
the
be,
whole thing.
that'd be the way.
Nice.
Or at
Well,
Yeah,
least
the
are you?
classic for me.
360 cams
No,
on.
there you go. It comes at a bad time because our spring break starts that weekend. So school letting me out that Thursday and Friday before
Ooh,
spring break was never going to happen.
ooh,
And plus, it's a 1,700-mile drive
Yeah,
there. So
that's a minute.
it's a little bit of a haul. Now, when it was in Dallas last year, that was a different story.
yeah,
And Tulsa is easy for me to get to. Dallas is easy, so
Brody, we're
it
gonna see
rotates
you.
back to those.
Brody, we're gonna see you at the Classic this year.
No, I'm gonna be down on. I got Santee coming up, and I'm probably gonna go down
Okay.
there and fish some lakes surrounding just to kind of get an idea of water temperatures, what's going on, the normal stuff.
Awesome. Well, like I said, the basscast.com is going down. We are going down on a Wednesday, and we're coming back the Monday after the trophy ceremony. It's now become like a 4-day thing, but 4 days of vacation it is. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday. Yeah, 4 days of vacation. So if you guys want to know what we do with our vacation from work, there it is. But we're going to be down there for the whole shebang. Excited to be back in Knox Vegas. And love to hang out, love to have dinner, whatever you guys want to do. I'm trying to think this year I'm going to spend less time in the media room. We're going to do our podcast like we always do. We always do a daily update from the show, and it's just an audio version, uploads right to the Spreaker network as soon as we finish, and all the other places we have: Apple, Google Podcast, Alexa Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast, all those hosting places where you can go subscribe to Basscast Radio. So we're going to do our show. We're going to roll out after that and hang out. But happy about going to Knoxville, Tennessee, Knox Vegas. For you guys who made it up to Augusta County Fishing Expo, guys, that's where me and Geek fell in love. We first met. But that is.
I keep telling you that is not actually true. We met in Knoxville.
Well, I know, but I like promoting their ex. I like
we
promoting their
remet.
I know.
We remet.
The remet.
That's when we knew it was destined.
Yeah. But guys, the last weekend it was an excellent show. It was pretty much probably about even kill for what they usually have, new as well as used, and the rest of it. But guys, it was a great crowd. That's what I want to say. A lot of people buying. It kind of reminded me of what was going on in Richmond. We talked about that. It was a great show as well. You could buy anything from a giant cupcake to handmade jigs to crankbaits from Tiger Crankbaits was there. So, like I said, a lot of great stuff at the expo. And if you're in Fishersville, Virginia, I saw a couple guys from Smith Mountain Lake that came up that just want to get it. Everybody's tired of the snow around here, and it's pretty much about gone. But everybody just ready to get out, and that was pretty freaking cool to get to see everyone at the expo. So I sure
wouldn't turn down a giant cupcake. I'll be the first to tell you,
dude. Guys, these cupcakes. Danielle says she saw the bunt pan or whatever you call it thing the other day. It had to have been this freaking big. It was a miniature cake. It wasn't a cupcake. It was a miniature cake. But
I've never had a cupcake I didn't like.
Hey, they look pretty dang good. I ain't gonna lie. So come on out next year. Add this event to your calendar. And like I said, Fishersville, Virginia. After you finish there, head on over to Waynesboro. It's plenty of things, plenty of great places to eat there in Waynesboro, Virginia. Fish and Pig for you guys who like barbecue. We found a burger bar a couple of weeks ago. Last time me and Danielle were up there, and it is excellent, really freaking good. I love that place. A little dive, and I love dives. So love to see you in 2027 in Fishersville, Virginia. All right, let's roll on tonight. We're gonna throw it over to Trever real quick, and we let him talk about the Bassmaster Elite Series and fantasy fishing. Everyone, I sucked.
Yeah, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people.
I think 1,200 points end up winning our fantasy fishing, and I had about 599. So it was bad. It was bad for me. I'm not gonna lie, really bad. But my picks are in. So
all right. So this is going to drop on Monday. So technically, we already have 2 events that'll be in for the fantasy fishing. So hopefully, you got your picks in before the Lake Martin event started. And you did well. So we're going to go back, and for those of you that are listening now, to the February event that happened on Lake Gunnersville. And I could tell you I sucked it up too, because I was kind of going with the cold front moving in, thinking, okay, the Alabama guys might have a good advantage, the home field with it being cold. That did not pan out very well. So I ended up 29th in the Bass Cast group. Number 1 actually went to 08 Bass Cat. he ended up with 1323 for points. He's actually ranked 99.9% in the entire fishing league. So
Wow.
he absolutely rocked it. So B-Ball, good job, man. Good job. You did an excellent job on Lake
Brian
Guntersville.
Ball, let's see who that is.
Yeah, and so I gotta do a shout out to Bass Geek down there because some of the winning baits were stuff that Hank's talked about before in his videos,
I
throwing the
preach in
3-inch
cold
grubs
water, man.
around.
Those grubs.
And then Hartman, Hartman's out there, doing what Geek did before too, before the cheater box, before forward-facing sonar, throwing the minnow around
Shaking
and
a minnow, tight lining a minnow
shaking the
is
minnow,
not just
tight lining,
it's not
and
just a
so
forward-facing
some of
sonar
those,
deal.
some of those old school baits came back to play, which I talk about it. Those of you that listen to my Friday podcast will know that I kind of did a little comparison between two of the events that were going on with the MLF Toyota Series, and how Drew Gill dominated that one again, with a total opposite, but a way that I know Hank uses it the same way I do, and using the Alabama umbrella rig with your forward-facing sonar is a deadly combination. And so that's how he did it down there. But yeah. So
Man,
fantasy fishing wise, that was really good. And so I really hope now looking forward, the event that just ended, we're looking at Lake Martin, spotted bass fishery. I know going in, all the pros I'm watching right now, they're just posting the drum they're catching, the carp they're catching, and all the other fish. And I think Lee Livesey posted, he said, getting ready to get started. And he had like a deck full of crappie and a couple other stuff that he was going to fry up and going from there. So hopefully you got your picks in. Again, I'm sitting 29th in that one. It was pretty good. Now there's another fantasy fishing league out there too, and that's the Major League Fishing one. They actually they changed it up this year, so their fantasy fishing site is a lot easier to navigate and work through. And so that event is actually coming up. So that is, they're going to be on Lake Hartwell, and they're going to be there this weekend coming up. So if you haven't got your picks there, they kind of do it in two flights. So they have a flight 1 and a flight 2, and you pick 5 anglers for there. So just real quick, I'm going to let you guys know what I'm doing in that one, so you kind of have an idea. So in the Lake Hartwell event for flight 1, I got Dustin Connell, Ott Defoe, Drew Gill, because you can't miss out with him, Alton Jones Jr., and Michael Neal. And then in flight 2, I'm running with Jake Lawrence, Justin Lucas, Bank Shaw, who that guy just wins at whatever level he's in, Jacob Walker, and of course, probably one of the best bass anglers there is right now on the planet with Jacob Wheeler. And so that's kind of what I'm running with there. But for the event that just ended for the Bassmaster side, I kind of picked most of mine are the scopers for this event that just ended with the Bassmaster Elite Series, because again, FFS is allowed in this one, so I went pretty heavy with that. I did throw in Patrick Walters for that one because there's no way he's going to have 2 bad events back to back.
No way.
And then I also threw Justin Hamner and Logan Parks, some of those local guys in there as well, because they're just phenomenal with it. But right now, all the love is Trey McKinney. If you look at Bassmaster stuff going into it, I think he's got close to 60% of the field is picking Trey McKinney for that Logan Martin event. So, but again, bass fantasy fishing's in full swing. All the tournament stuff's in full swing. I know NPFL doesn't have any fantasy side to it, but I know that event's coming up in a couple weeks too. So it's a good time to watch some professional fishing. If you're still frozen up in the north and can't get on the lakes, at least watch the pros do it. Learn something. So,
all right, there we go. Thank you, Trevor.
Try and do better.
Appreciate that. Guys, again, don't forget, every week on Friday mornings at 5 o'clock before the first cast, he gives you a great tips off in the morning. And then he talks a little bit about fantasy fishing and, a little bit of what's going on in the pro tournament series as well. So it's 15 minutes, roughly. roughly something you can listen to going to work. It takes me 15 minutes going to work. So I listen then. So make sure you guys check out before the first cast. Like I said, it's all on Basscast Radio Network. You hear me? Basscast Radio Network. Hit the subscribe button and follow button. All right, guys. We got a stud down here in the left corner below me. You guys know him, Mr. Brody Lucky. And he got that Lucky name for a reason. You know what I'm saying? The dude is a hammer. He had a heck of a year last year, winning 4 Major League Fishing BFLs in 2025. And dude, he's continuing in 2026 in the Tackle Warehouse series that just wrapped up on the Harris Chain of Lakes. You finished 8th place, man. Out of like 100 and what, 20 anglers, 125, something like that.
151.
150.
Even better.
What did I say, boys and girls? I said stud, okay? He looks good. He throws good. He catches bass. All 3 right there together. Welcome, Mr. Brody Lucky, to the stage. What's up, brother?
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. Happy to hop on.
Glad to have you back. Glad you're safe back in Central Virginia, by the way. What was it like, man? Just tell us, man. First event of the season. You ain't fishing against no locals no more. It's the big boys.
Yeah. No, I mean,
what was it like, man? How many jitters do we have the night before? Do we even sleep?
Yeah, I slept pretty good. I fished from dawn to dusk every day of practice, so still had the jitters, but was so exhausted, kind of just slept right through them. But yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the more stressful events I've had. Had 10 bites all of practice, and knew it was going to be a grind. I mean, I knew I was not going to get more than 10 keeper bites a day. And so, putting every fish in the boat was what I was focused on doing. I'd found a deal where I knew if I got a bite, it was going to be a good one, but it was just a matter of getting enough of them. That was the hard part.
Now, I watched your video, and did you do a video or you posted something? I can't remember. I was trying to keep up with your social media, but you talked about it being tough. And I'll be honest, guys, we've seen it here on Basscast Radio many times. The tough tournaments end up making you a winner, or either pretty daggone close to a winner, and that's what ended up happening. Break us down a little bit this. For you guys that don't know, hopefully you do know, practice, you're allowed to use the cheater box, forward-facing sonar. During the tournament, you're only allowed to have 3 hours to use forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
So talk to us about practice and what you kind of, you did, like you said earlier, you fish from sun up to sundown. Guys, he's only 19. I at my age, I need sleep for 20 hours. But how did you break down practice to kind of figure it all out that, like you said, you might catch these bass. If you caught the bass, they're going to be good, the ones you needed to win.
Right. So, I mean, I had found the fish that Drew Gill won on, a lot of those guys at top 10 on, and they're all scoping in Buclair around grass clumps, things like that. And it was probably them and 40 other boats, and I just did not feel like being a part of that cluster of boats, because I had some buddies that came in the 70s and 80s in that same zone doing the same thing, and some guys that did really well. So,
Ooh.
It just because you were around that area, just because you were doing the right thing, did not mean you had a good event. So I just decided, like, I'm going to try to get away from everybody. I'm going to try to find something to myself, and I'm going to chuck reaction-style baits that will get these lethargic, cold Florida fish to actually bite. I focused on finding areas that had lower grass. So I was fishing a lot of grass. I never even caught a fish using forward-facing in this event. I didn't even turn it on the last day. So I was just chunking and winding, chatterbait trap, that sort of thing. And I just pretty much found 2 to 3 spots that had fish on them and just sat there and picked them apart, made cast after cast after cast, rotating different baits, sizes, weights, colors, all the variables that you can rotate through. And, just trying to sit there on them areas that had the good ones, and I had confidence that had the good ones until they decided it was time to bite.
Now, for you guys who didn't see, Florida probably has some of the coldest weather they've had in quite a while. I was here, I had Steve Chapman on, and he was talking about fish dying, iguanas dying. It got really freaking cold in Florida. Like I said, unusual weather and unusual temps that they're not used to. Do you think, fishing up here and being used to fishing the cold weather in Central Virginia kind of helped you maybe a little bit with Florida? Or, what kind of helped you achieve this 8th place finish?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess knowing that bite windows were going to be a major player, and
Okay.
knowing that I had to run my bait by those fish multiple times. For instance, I sat on my starting spot for 3 hours starting morning, and I'd sit here, make a couple casts, sit here, make a couple casts, sit out in front of it, make a couple casts, and just continued to bring my baits through until maybe it just flicked off the grass just right, or dropped right down in one's face, and he just reacted because eventually they're going to get irritated, pissed off, whatever it may be, and just decide, okay, it's time to bite. But yeah, as far as Virginia being comparable and using that, it didn't really help at all because I feel like when it gets really cold here, they bite really well.
Okay.
And they're knowing that Florida fish are not that way at all. I kind of just was like, okay, I need to get a bait or a presentation that gets in their face, stays in their face, and just stays in that strike zone as long as possible and makes them react because they were not willing to chase. So, keeping something in their face was the key for sure.
You said you fished the grass a lot. You stay in a location. Was it like soft, like the area around the grass, was it like drop offs or anything of that nature? Or
so I'll give you a main breakdown of,
because I've never been down there before,
Right,
so kind of help us walk through a little bit
yeah.
here.
So I focused my efforts on high percentage areas, being canal mouths, because these fish that spawn in the canals, and they sack up at the mouth to go into spawn, but they're stopped because the cold front hit. They're not going to go spawn when the water's 45 like it was.
No.
Right. So I focused on canal mouths. My best spot, it's set up so beautifully, and I was amazed that I was the only one on it, but there was a bunch of eelgrass like 10 feet off the front of the mouth of the canal, and then it was like a wall, and then it kind of dropped in. There was brush, a little bit of hydrilla, and a little bit of shell bar, all in one spot right there, just all mixed together. And I only had one boil on my bait in practice there, but I'm like, this just sets up so well that they have to use it. I mean, and the best part is I'm sure you guys saw Keith Poche going up under the bridge, getting to that clear lake. Well, I was sitting there at the mouth. That's where I caught a lot of my fish. And that clear water would every once in a while kind of drift out, out into my spot. And I feel like those fish really like that because I was in Lake Eustis and that water was ugly. I'm talking like 6-8 inches visibility at the most. So between having that clear water, a little bit of brush, good shell bottom, hydrilla, clumps of eelgrass, I mean, it had it all. And I just sat there and made cast after cast after cast. And like I said, I only got 3 bites on it day 1, 3 bites on it day 2, and 5 bites on it day 3. But every one of them was over 2 pounds. And a couple of them were in the 4 to 5 pound range. So, just having that confidence in the spot and knowing how it's set up. And I really found out what was on that spot throughout the event, just kind of feeling with my baits. Like, I'd kill my chatterbait and I'd drag it a little bit and before I popped it up, and I'd feel that hard, good bottom, or I'd feel it.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'd feel it bump off that stick because I couldn't see that spot with my forward facing with the big old eelgrass wall right in the front. So I had to go by more of like a feel thing. I drug a rig through there too, like a Carolina rig, and I could feel that hard bottom. Every once in a while I'd hit that little stick up that was there. I mean, it couldn't have been more than like one little stick, but I hit off at one time and had a 5 pounder absolutely murder it. So, obviously that didn't hurt. So, but yeah, I think, having all those things mixed together and having it all to myself, especially, was really key, and just having confidence and making cast after cast after cast. And eventually just making that perfect cast where that fish just reacts, doesn't think, and, get a bite, put him in the boat.
So was that a timing deal for that spot? Was there a certain time of day that it seemed to shine? Was it later in the day when the water or the sun was coming out and it maybe heated up a little bit
So
more?
very interestingly enough, it was actually a morning bite for that spot, but I could pull up in the afternoon and get a bite or 2. It seemed like day 1 I couldn't because the wind had shifted coming from the north and it just blew it out. But the other 2 days, I was able to pull up in the afternoon and pick off one or two more, keeper fish that I was able to weigh in. But yeah, definitely a morning bite. Interestingly enough, I think those low light conditions just made it a little bit harder for them to see, a little bit easier to trick them, But I really thought that they would fire in the afternoon, so I'd pull up there each afternoon and like really try to force it. But I mean, I'd get 3 to 5 bites there every morning pretty quick. I mean, I caught 3 and 3 casts when I first pulled up on the last day with the trap, and I was like, oh man, it's about to go down. But then sat there for another hour, didn't get another bite, and then caught a couple more. But yeah, I mean, just having confidence in a place that they can show up, because I mean that's the type of spot that it didn't happen for me in the tournament. That's a spot that 20 plus pounds could pull up overnight, maybe even 30. Because of how big the fish are in that place. Just because I mean, there's so many good variables that the whole rest of that lake did not have. It had the clear water, the shell. I mean, I didn't find another canal in that lake except for the one leading through the Dead River that actually had good shell on it. So, yeah, having that spot was key this week for sure.
So it kind of sounds like this was all or nothing for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple other spots, got a couple other bites, but they were small and, had other people on them. I mean, like I said, Drew Gill's spot where he won, I went there in pre-practice and found that spot. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe the size of the fish that were there. I mean, 8 to 12 pounders were swimming around everywhere. Like wow. I probably saw a 50-pound bag sitting on that zone, but they were so smart and so hard to get to bite. And I went back there and practiced. And like I said, there was 40 boats just doing circles on that zone. And, sometimes it's good to get in with the crowd and just flat beat them like Drew did. And, hats off to him for doing that. That was not easy by any means. So, hats off to him for that. But, like my buddy Hayden Obar, he's, great, outstanding fisherman. And he was fishing right next to Drew. And I think he ended up in 70th or so. Just because a couple like little tiny things didn't work out, So it was definitely feast or famine in there. There were several guys in the top 10, but I like getting out on my own, doing my own thing, getting away from everybody. And like I said, I didn't scope a single fish this week. I didn't even turn it on the last day. So all the scope people that say I scope all the time and don't do anything else,
Hey, don't let the haters talk.
Yeah, don't let the haters do it.
I love scope. I tell everybody I'm 52 and the scope's the best damn thing.
I will say this about scope, and I will say it right now. If you don't want to fish tournaments with it, that's fine, but you need to have it on your boat to learn about fish behavior. Like go out
that exactly.
Fishing. Like I mean, 100%. I'm totally cool if you don't want to use it for tournament and you think it's cheating. That is fine with me. But you need to have it on your boat to learn about fish behavior because it will teach you so much that you won't be able to learn any other way.
I say it all the time.
100%.
What you see on scope, you're not going to forget it. You're not going to forget it. You're not going to go and say, oh, well, I can't use that. I seen that on a scope one day.
Man, I saw them fish slide up to the bank on scope. I guess I can't go fish on the bank for them anymore.
I can't go get them.
It's like right now, everybody is, kind of scoping on my home lake, South Holston right now. And, I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So what I've been doing is, since the fall on is I've been taking an A-rig, staying back and finding these fish that are moving out of these creeks to the main lake, and they'll sit in that very mouth, first third. They like to congregate around trees. Well, I'll stay back or big rocks, and I'm looking for places where, bigger fish can hide. There's enough, cover there. And I'm just taking that A-rig and drawing them. So I'm letting it come down so slow until it gets right underneath the boat. And then I just sit there and just barely move it because there'll be 8, 10, 12 of them follow it down. And then they'll just sit there. And one of them finally looks at it and goes, screw it, boys, I'm putting my mouth on that thing.
I mean, it's a great idea because, you think, like, when you see bait fish on your forward facing, like, how often are they swimming as fast as our baits go? They're not, So having something that you can go really slow with and keep in their face for a long period of time, that's something different.
And it's still, the A-rig, it's got so much, I always say there's two baits that really have that are the best as far as drawing power. And the water temperature was 37 the other day when I was out. So, those bass's strike zone is 2 inches off their nose at that point. Now, sure, you can pull out a drop shot or a worm or some sort of bottom bouncing, but why not? And I know you can't use an A rig, but if we're fishing BFL stuff like that, why not pull out that A rig that's going to pull those bass up out of there because they're feeding on that shad as it cycles around. Almost every single spot where we got bit doing that, we've been getting bit. There's a group of shad out here, and there's 2 or 3 bass out there that's just kind of sitting there. You can go out there and scope if you want to. So it's that type of stuff that you learn, and you wouldn't learn without a scope.
Absolutely.
Yep. I like using it too for checking my baits, make sure they're running right. That's the other key too. It's like, okay,
and not for losing them. Let me tell you,
it's 10 feet. Let me see.
Yeah. I mean, the only time I turned it on for this event was just to see where the individual grass clumps were. Because they kind of lump 360, which I not trying to talk bad about anyone, but 360 is not live sonar. It's totally different. It's just side scan forward. So I don't love that they lump those two together as far as limiting us. I think 360 should be allowed regardless. So, it's kind of annoying in that regard. But yeah, I was using the forward facing just to see the clumps of grass and, I'd throw at them. But I don't think I caught a single fish with it on. So, because like I said, most of my damage was done in the morning. Just chucking them on the chatterbait. I had a missile bait spunk shad on both those chatterbaits, and that also allowed me to get it down. Because like I said, I think, and like Basky just said with the water being cold, I think it was the same thing in Florida. Getting that small strike zone was really key. So if you had a trailer that had lift, like a kicking trailer, swim bait, creature bait, whatever, it would lift that chatterbait up and it wouldn't keep it down where those fish were. Because, I mean, record-breaking temperatures in Florida, cold temperatures, they're going to be on the bottom. I mean, they're not going to want to be up and chasing and fired up. Like, they might do that other places, but Florida is not one of those places.
So what was the water temperature right there, in that area, in that spot?
Yeah, so I saw anywhere from – so at the beginning of the tournament, I saw as low as 45, which is crazy.
That's cold down there.
At the end of the temperature, and at the end of the tournament, I got upwards of 56 to 58. Being shallow and dirty like that, it does warm up quick. So when it started to warm up, I really started moving around a lot because I'm like, okay, these fish should be starting to move. They should get active. They haven't eaten in a couple days. And 10 minutes before, I had to come in, I caught a 4.5 on a stretch I'd never fished before, which, really bumped me up day 2 there. So, just covering water when they should be biting too really helped.
Yeah, I saw some posts on social media, that some of the boys local, believe in your skills, and you definitely have the skills, my friend. I mean,
thank you.
Like I said, a heck of a year last year. Going in this year, $14K in your pocket already. I mean,
nice
your very first tackle warehouse event. I mean, you couldn't. I mean, the work is paid off, guys. Put in the freaking work. I mean, it's what it really is all about. And being out on the water has definitely helped that.
Absolutely.
Moving on, dude. It's let's see here. Where's the next one? Santee Cooper, isn't
it? Yeah, Santee. I leave in a
26th through the 28th of this month, by the way, guys. So make sure you tune in and watch. And make sure you're following Brody on Instagram so you catch up with what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go ahead,
all the time for sure. Santee's going to be a slugfest, but it's not going to be a slugfest in the way that you're catching a bunch of good ones. Like, the guy who will probably win it will get 6 to 8 bites a day, but they might weigh 30 pounds or more every day. Like, they are really smart there. Some of the smartest fish I've fished for. I went and pre-practiced, and the first day I went, I had 25 pounds and 4 fish and could not catch a 5th one, even though I was seeing them everywhere, So really smart fish, really big fish. So, if you can crack that code and get 6 to 10 bites a day, you're going to have 20 plus. Pretty much guaranteed, because it's like, I swear they come off the bed being 3 pounds. It's crazy how many good quality fish in that place.
So they're born, they weigh 3 pounds. It's like That is so crazy. And we're supposed to see a warming trend. So, I mean, I know going into the end of the month, and I've been told in the 1st of March, it's supposed to be in the mid 50s around here, which is pretty daggone nice.
Absolutely.
So, a warming trend will definitely help as well. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, 26th through the 28th, guys, make sure you're following along. Make sure you're following Brody's social media. I always ask
You
everybody.
could also pick them in. You could also pick them in fantasy fishing too. They
Oh,
have,
can you really?
they have it for fantasy fishing.
We
Yeah,
were all
they
kind
have
of
the
mad that you
they
didn't
have
get a
that pro.
camera the last day, to be
Yeah.
honest, after you did so well. You know,
Yeah, they said if
especially
I had been
for
one
me.
spot higher, I would have been with the cameraman. So
Oh.
Mr. One spot, but I was happy to get it.
We know they can afford one more daggone
Right,
camera.
just a couple more ounces I've been there. But
Just one.
So hopefully we'll see some live. Brody be on the camera and we get to watch him live. But where was I going with that day going? So yeah, make sure you're following along, make sure you're paying attention. And the 26th through the 28th, you guys can watch. I think the weigh-ins are live. I don't know,
Yeah.
do they do any live throughout the day as well?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they do.
Yeah, I had a
Okay.
live camera day 2, and
Mhm.
when I had my my tournament making bag, and
Okay.
got to talk about what I was doing on live. I mean, you can see me fishing the spots that I caught them on live with the baits that I caught them on. I mean, that's pretty hard to beat. I feel like, because it's one thing to just hold up a bait at the end of the tournament and say this is what I caught them on, but when you got someone on the water chucking actively at the spots with the bait and telling you how they're doing it, I mean, that's a reason to watch live right there. I know I watch any live footage I can get my hands on because it's hard to lie on live.
Yeah, was it pretty hard coming from Smith Mountain Lake to go down there where you actually got to tell everybody what you really caught your fish on?
Well, I didn't have to use any.
I've never been lied to before.
Yeah,
Or down there where everything's 1 foot deep. Man.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a polar opposite of Smith for sure. But no, I mean, I didn't have any problem.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. No, I didn't have any problem telling anyone about the baits I was throwing because I didn't have to pull any sneaky stuff out. I mean, I just went, jackhammer, went with the Thunder Cricket, and went with the Strike King 2-tap. I mean, those 3 things are what I got bid on. Didn't have to pull any sneaky dice, any sneaky minnows, anything like that on them. So it's like, yeah, I'll show you my baits. I mean, just chucking and chatterbait, chucking and winding. I mean,
Chucking and winding.
it was fun. Though. I'm telling you what, they hit it harder on that place than anywhere else I've ever been. Like for lethargic, cold Florida fish, I mean, they would just drop 3 feet of slack in your line running through it. And you'd have to and crank and lean into them, or else you would miss them, because they hit it so hard. But I guess, when they were ready to bite it, they were ready. So it was just, waiting on one that was ready.
All right, cheer him on, everybody. Like I said, another one right around the corner. It's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I had a dumb moment there about them being live. I knew they were live, but when you got Bassmaster on live at the same time, maybe one day we'll figure out the schedule thing. I doubt it will be, but it kind of sucks because I know a lot of people that I know were flipping back and forth between the two. Some even had one in one corner of the screen and one in the other corner of the screen. But
I may have had my laptop up and my TV on a different and checking on my phone the kayak one because the Bassmaster Kayak Series was also in the Kissimmee chain in Florida as well. So
it was a big freaking weekend. It's a heck of a way to kick off this season, to be honest, because it was, like I said, if any type of fishing you wanted to see, it was available for you to watch.
Absolutely.
Or keep up with, by the way. So, and maybe, the way kayak fishing's going here lately, and because of this guy by the name of Elon Musk, heck, we'll be soon watching kayak fishing live one day. I mean, everybody have a little.
I know some people that already have Starlink on their kayaks.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I saw Starlink set up a couple weeks ago. The guy had it back across the back of the kayak, and he was recording and going live and all that great stuff. So, give it another year or two, and the kayak boys will be locked and loaded as well. And you'll be able.
When I keep in my boat, I go live once in a while, but I'm worried a lot of the lakes I fish ain't got cell service, so I'll use it to make a phone call.
Dude, some of these West Texas lakes I fish in, there ain't no service anywhere close to where I am.
But we've been doing
You
a
go to
few.
OH Ivy, good luck trying to get service on Ivy, let me tell you.
That's one thing I hope to do a lot of is a lot more on the water stuff. So,
All right, that's where I was before I went off. Sorry, I came back in my brain here. Last question for you. What was your biggest takeaway from your first big event, brother? Tackle Warehouse event. If you had one takeaway from it, and maybe one thing that you learned, what was it?
I mean, I guess I would say just be confident in what you're doing and don't be worrying about what other people are doing. Like I knew there was going to be a bunch of guys over in View Claire, like I was talking about earlier, all scoping, and I'd figured out a little deal off to myself, and instead of worrying about what they're doing, what's going on, like am I missing out? Like I just focused on what I did, locked in, and made it work. So, yeah, don't always follow everyone else around. Try to be original sometimes. Do your own thing. I mean, I was like they had the trackers on. They were like, he is the only one in Eustis out of the whole top 50. No one else is in that lake at all. And a lot of times that could be worrisome, but it was working for me. So just don't be afraid to create your own path, I guess, is the best thing I took away from it.
And Brody does, guys. Like I said, heck of an angler, great call, my friend, awesome dude on Smith Mountain Lake. Any lake, to be honest, river, guys, he can kick your butt on a river in a heartbeat. I mean, sponsoring, man. I mean, I want to sponsor him. I just need everybody to pay me. I mean, I want to sponsor the guy. I mean, the dude's like a hammer. I mean, he's Jeff Freeman 2.0 for all you guys out there who don't know. I mean, the guy is the real freaking deal. And if you want to sponsor an angler that's going to take care of you, then make sure you check out Brody Lucky on social media and hit him up there and, send him a few, collect a few gas gift cards. I mean, all it helps tremendously, more than you guys can think. So,
Absolutely.
Brody, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you talking to us. But, guys, before we wrap this bad boy up, don't forget, like Trever said, Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, Bassmaster I think, what is it? This is the final event before the Classic, if I can remember correctly, isn't it?
I think so.
It is.
I think it is. Yeah. So we're gonna get a few weeks off. We're gonna try to have some of the elite anglers on the show before the Classic and talk about that. And I like to get John Cox on. I love no forward-facing sonar, John Cox. Pretty much no sonar, period. I mean, he fishes shallow. I mean, last time I talked to him in Knox Vegas, he said he didn't even have it on a boat. It's sitting at the house in a garage. So we're going to have a few anglers on. We're going to talk about the Classic coming up right around the corner. And like I said, it's 5 hours from Central Virginia. You're not going to, there's a couple other events, I think, if I remember correctly, that are a little bit closer this year, but not many. This is not the year like we had last year where we had all three major events, NPFL, Bassmaster, and Major League Fishing within 5 hours of us right here in Central Virginia. So come on down, hang out with us in Knoxville, Tennessee, me and Bass Geek. Are you going to be at the Icon? Are you going to, not Icon, I'm sorry, the Camus booth?
I'll be by there, but I'm just running and gunning this year. So I'm just gonna. I got 2-3 other sponsors that want me to come by there, and so we're just gonna run and gun. We're gonna check everything out, and just to add to what Brian had to say, the regular season tournaments are great. Go support them. You get to meet a lot of cool people, a lot of cool anglers, but I'm telling you, if you've never been to a Classic, especially a Classic in Knoxville, you better go. You better go.
Our hotel is, I think she said it's 8 minutes away, so we're going to probably pretty much Uber about every single day is the plan, because I don't like, I mean, the getting away is not bad, but getting to it is crazy, because there is a line, and me and Geek have been there so many times. I mean, it is wrapped around the building to get into day one of the expo. I mean, it is huge, guys. This is no joke. This is our Super Bowl.
Yeah, thank God I got a pass from a company last minute, so I can get it.
There you go.
Like I would.
So, love to see you. Love to have you. Most of the expos I know are done around Central Virginia. I know there's a couple of small little expos still going on, little flea markets and things of that happening. But expo time is over for us. It was a great season. Great to get to meet everybody. A lot of money being spent this year. A lot of people buying tackle. I think a lot of people kind of used up all their COVID stuff finally. They done lost it, thrown it in a tree, or the fish done ate it all up. So people were actually
Or
buying.
if you're like me, you just accidentally kick it off the boat in 130 foot of water.
Oh, so
That's
people
rough.
were
That's
buying
rough,
stuff.
buddy.
I will tell you.
brand new cash and combo.
Oh shoot!
Oh,
But I will tell you this: what we did here and what I did see the high end stuff is still not selling, so we're still not at that market. I did want to bring something up really quick. I'm just so freaking excited to have my mind on right here. If you guys didn't see, Big Rock Sports filed for bankruptcy. I mean, we're talking about a major freaking player in the fishing industry. Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Liquidation is going on now. $100.9 million in liabilities, assets $10 to $50 million, $83 million in unsecured claims. That means that people ain't gonna get their money. This is gonna have a ripple effect through the whole entire industry. The industry is already tight enough as it is. And when a big player like this closes his doors, I don't know. At its peak, it served 20,000 retailers across the USA, Canada, Caribbean, and beyond. It stocked 180,000 to 200,000 SKUs. That means baits, everybody. Because now, now you have to have a barcode on your product to get it in any retailer whatsoever. Because we're all digital. We're all digital now. I mean, even my boy Matt at Pro's Choice. I remember someone wanted to bring him some baits in one time, and he said, "I'll take them if you put a barcode on it." So, because I need to keep inventory. So, 600,000 in square foot and across multiple U.S. and Canada distribution centers. So, full liquidation, like I said, is going on now. It says issues known in the industry over a year. Websites now defunct. Hamlet, North Carolina distribution center is officially closed. Canadian subsidiary filed bankruptcy in 2025, laying off 72 employees. Industrial Impact, guys, is a key supplier chain for 71 years. 71 years. This closure disrupts thousands, especially smaller fishing outdoor retailers. Related development, former blah, blah, blah. So this is going to, the full story is up on the basscast.com right now. Hopefully you've had it. I just kind of got a big little, got the gist of it. But this is going to have a heck of a ripple effect in 2026. And not necessarily, buying directly through, my boy there's got his Kiss LaRage shirt on and, net bait through their websites, but going into the retail stores themselves, you might find a lot of empty shelves this year. You might not. I really don't know what it's going to be, but it sucks.
Were they the biggest distributor?
I want to say they were pretty. If they weren't,
they were bigger than what's the one up in Kentucky? They're
oh crap. We had him on.
Cajun Rob on. I never can remember their.
Yeah, we had Cajun Rob on. I was say we had Cajun Rob on.
They're up around Cumberland, but I believe they were bigger than them. Which they bought. He told us, didn't he tell us that they had bought another distributor out there?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll just tell you this: like I go up to a little discount store. If you see some baits you want, get them, put them in your tackle box. Like I said, I mean, luckily, you kind of wonder too the retail side of it. We went through COVID. We couldn't get anything. Video killed the radio star. Did the websites kind of kill the retail star? I mean, we can get a better discount if we buy more through the websites. And the only thing that's going to kill the websites is the shipping. And that's stupid right now. So really stupid. So if we can find a happy medium, I think we'll be okay. But it really does suck to have something like this happen. in the industry, especially after what we kind of all went through COVID. So that's it for me. I hate to end it on bad news, but I really, really want to talk about that. And I'm on you guys are the professional anglers. I'm on the business side of it. What kind of goes on behind the scenes? And Thomas is what's happening. We'll hopefully get Thomas back next week. Thomas talks about the ecosystem and what's happening in your lakes. And for you guys, hopefully know the eelgrass and the all that stuff they want to kill in Smith Mountain Lake. And they're debating on that right now. Hopefully we can get someone on and talk about that in the next week. So we're starting off with a heck of a 2026 already. And I appreciate everyone for listening and being a part of what we got going on right here at Basscast Radio. So anybody got any closing words before we wrap it up?
Please let the grass grow on Smith. That's all I got.
Amen.
Please. It would be top 5 lakes in the country. It really would be if they just let it happen.
Amen.
But we'll see.
All right. I just want to say good luck,
Thank
Brody.
you.
Hammer him down in safety.
And congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
Way to
Yeah.
start.
So congrats. Like I said, sorry, I was reading my message from Tim. I got a message today about the hydrilla and the grass and wanting to kill it. And I got my first one. And I really want to be at that meeting last week, but we record Basscast Radio on Wednesdays, and that's when the meeting was. So I'm dedicated to you all, but hopefully we can get someone on in the next week or so and get more information about what the heck is going on and how we can stop this from happening. So I love grass. It's probably one of the reasons why I love fishing the river so much. There's grass in the rivers, and fish love hiding in them things. You can sit there and throw baits all day, throw a Cinco or throw a lizard or anything else you want to throw in there and catch fish, a grub, it don't matter.
That is by far my weakest, because there's no grass in the lakes down here.
Yeah,
Northeast
that's true.
Tennessee. They drop the lakes, 25 to 40 feet. It never fails. I always get a comment in the comment section. They're like, man, you having a drought? I'm like, no, this is just winter.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate you being a part of Basscast Radio. Have a great week, everyone. Please be safe. And don't forget, check out Before the First Cast.